Welcome back to Block TV, where every day our team members scour the World Wide Web for the best offerings on crypto and blockchain. And today, a special treat, Yonah Hochhauser with anything and everything that is trending and you need to know. Yonah, take it away.
Well, talking about trending, that definitely has to be the story of 100 of leaked photos showing Binance customers' KYC data. Yeah, including their faces, along with government-issued IDs, whether it be passports, driver's licenses, which include their home addresses. These were all leaked onto a Telegram group called Find Your Binance KYC. Now, people were freaking out, and CZ, the CEO of Binance, immediately took to Twitter to respond, saying, "Don't fall into the KYC leak FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We are investigating. We'll update shortly." Now, people were obviously freaking out, Yael, because these are private information showing up online, and most of the tweets in response to CZ were along the lines of, "FUD, did you see leaked passports with faces?"
I was about to say, are you kidding?
How are you downplaying this? How will you compensate this? Binance is not Safu, obviously, mocking or playing off of CZ's famous Safu, things are safe. So,
and also, important to note, we're living in an age where Cambridge Analytica misusing and abusing millions of accounts on Facebook, apropos putting out their details. Those are things that are in court hearings right now. So something like this should really, I wouldn't call this FUD.
Yeah, should you even be surprised? I mean, and people are even mocking. They were posting links to the actual Telegram group where these photos were posted, saying, "How are you thinking we're overreacting? How are you making this a big nothing?" This happened. Now, one commenter had an interesting theory as to the source of the leaks. He tweeted, in this group of telegrams, all the photos are from February 23rd and 24th, 2018, a strange combination of coincidences. CZ, maybe on this day you fired an employee with access to KYC. So CZ did respond to this, saying, "We saw the same, old news, but we're still dealing with it." Now, what does he mean by old news? He's referring, of course, to the old CCN article from January covering the same leak, because this leak did happen. This is old news, but the leak was originally to the dark web. And the dark web and Telegram are two separate things. The dark web, not everyone wants to access, not everyone knows how to access. Telegram, that's high visibility. In one of these groups,
high visibility and untraceable.
Exactly, untraceable. I mean, some would say also the dark web is untraceable, but here with Telegram, there are already thousands of people as part of these groups that have access to this private data that could, steal identifications, do malicious activity with it. My grandmother has Telegram. Everyone could use this now. Now, the answer by CZ, this is old news, did not satisfy the crowd. People were responding with responses like, "Old news doesn't make it any less important." And he's not wrong. I mean, this is a big deal. Like you said, Facebook's already dealing with these things. Now we got to deal with crypto exchanges dealing with it. People don't want to see this. But then Box Mining proposed another angle on the story. Let's take a listen.
Yo, I just got a lot of very concerned messages from a lot of people asking about the supposed recent Binance KYC hack. There were posts of people's passwords and their identities online saying that Binance KYC has been hacked. So this has been confirmed to be old. So it's not that it's not that it didn't happen, but it happened in January of 2019 of this year. So it's something that's already happened, and I know people have been concerned about it, but it's old news. One thing I do really want to be aware of right now is that there are these multiple Telegram groups that are opening up saying you can check if your KYC has been hacked. Most likely these are being used by these people spreading this old news to potentially harm you. So they potentially might post out different programs or something that can check if your KYC has been hacked or whatnot. Don't click it. That would be extremely dangerous. That would be the hack. All right. So whoever is doing this, they're doing this maliciously because this news is clearly old from February of 2019. It's been happened a long time ago. Whoever's spreading this, they have malicious intent. So just be careful of that.
Now, the thing, first of all, Yonah, just to drive your point home as before, the fact that this, acquiring illegally of information from people in Binance happened, a year ago, or that it's old, doesn't constitute an excuse as to how bad this is for the people whose identity right now is once again exposed without their consent on Telegram.
Exactly. I mean, listen, this is not comfort for anyone if your data was exposed. And now, according to this box mining guy, it's even worse because he's saying even if your things weren't exposed, you probably were lured into one of these groups by malicious actors who were taking advantage of the fear and saying, and he's saying that in these groups, they will then try to ask you for confirmation of your data, or if you want to find out if your data was stolen, then that will thus lure you into sending them the data, and that will be a hack in and of itself. So everyone is losers here. Binance is a loser, but definitely the customers who had their data hacked, whether it was hacked or even if they get duped in on this phishing attack, they're losers, and Binance is not doing a good job of protecting them.
At the time of the statement, other than that CZ tweet, was there any reaction from Binance as to how they're looking to combat this in the future?
Right. Well, Binance did give out a statement in response, and pretty much saying how that there was a hacker who was kind of blackmailing them for 300 Bitcoins, saying that he had all these pictures, that he had all this data. Now, it is important to note that when the original hack came out in January, as well as now, Binance has stood by the fact saying that all their data, they put its digital watermark on so they're able to track it and know if anyone's using it. And they said when they looked through this leak right now and the original leak, they were saying that they did not have their digital watermark and so did not come from their sources. That doesn't rule out that it was an inside job and someone was able to remove the sources. They're just saying, hey, it didn't come from our KYC servers. Once again, that doesn't do much to the people who were affected by it.
Entirely.
Now,
Yes.
CZ, that wasn't CZ. The only thing CZ then tweeted out after the official statement saying, I would like to add, by joining or spreading the link of the Telegram group, you are helping malicious hackers, at least giving them attention. What we should do as an industry to fight them, we should stay on the positive side, report the group, then leave. And he's not only offering kind words, but also 25 Bitcoin, or about $290,000 for info leading to the hacker.
Which spells that they are concerned and they're trying to solve it, irrespective of staying positive. But clearly that poses a lot of questions for one of the biggest exchanges in the cryptosphere right now. Wow. Yes, moving along.
Scary times. Well, next up, there has been a lot of talk about regulation in the cryptosphere, with Libra and its congressional hearings with David Marcus, with the crypto regulations hearing the week after with Circle's Jeremy Allaire. Well, Andreas Antonopoulos gives his thoughts on crypto regulation.
Should we regulate crypto? How much should we regulate crypto? Who should regulate crypto? Fuck that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, look, it's an opinion, but it doesn't get the sphere far.
You know what? Listen, no one could doubt his opinion. I mean, we know what his opinion is, okay? Whether or not you agree with it, but at least he makes it crystal clear. And that's, I think, is the most important takeaway here, because that's the biggest issue, is the lack of clarity with crypto regulation. That's what people are calling for. Whether you agree that there should be, there shouldn't be, strong, weak, none, that's not the point. What we need is clarity. Clarity that there won't be, clarity that there is, that is strong. That's what people are asking for. So whether or not you buy his opinion, you got to buy the idea. Fuck off, make it clear.
Fuck off, make it clear entirely. But if not, just to prevent all kinds of criminal activities within this sphere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say fuck off to the hackers. All right. Well, people are attributing the recent Bitcoin price jump to the trade war going on between China and the US. And Redditor Dark Valor posted a meme illustrating the situation, I think, quite perfectly. See, he's showing, while China and the US are duking it out and hurting each other in the process, possibly pulling each other's hair, Bitcoiners are on the side watching with glee, ripping a bong as the price soars. I mean, really, we're the ones winning. Commenter Steve Wilsony took the analogy one step further, saying, wait until USA finds out China is fucking Bitcoin behind her back. And if you think about it, it actually works here. There are those who are saying that China is buying Bitcoin as a hedge against the weakening yuan, and the majority of Bitcoin hash power is in China already. So even though the analogy goes a bit far, it actually does make quite sense here.
But sometimes conspiracy theories do. One has to argue.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes.
Right.
And
well, I mean, listen, it is great to know that, even if the US and China are really hurting themselves mostly with this trade war and eventually the global economy, Bitcoin does come out ahead.
Bitcoin and gold, in many ways, yes.
Digital gold, it's digital gold. Speaking of convincing people that Bitcoin is digital gold, the Pomp recently went onto CNBC's Squawk Box to preach the wonders of Bitcoin to them. Now, Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank fame tried biting back. Let's take a listen.
Right? It's not personal opinion. It's not somebody else's opinion. The math suggests that it is non-correlated to negatively correlated to major asset classes.
How much of your own dough is in it?
Yeah, over 50% of my net worth is in Bitcoin, and I don't plan to sell it.
I forbid that. That's insane.
You forbid that?
That breaches everything about diversification and investing. That's crazy.
How much of your net worth is in the stock market?
In any one stock, never more than 5%. In any one sector, never more than 20%. I teach this stuff. You never go beyond concentrations of that nature. 50%? Shame on you. That's nuts.
And what?
First of all, are you my daddy? I mean, come on.
Yeah, lay off my back, man.
Or one can argue that in 2008, anybody who had their money in like real estate stocks got really screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to the Pomp for the good comeback question about stocks. Now, O'Leary did say not more than 5% in any one stocks, but listen.
How many stocks does he have?
Exactly. He definitely has a high portion of his net worth in investments like the stock market. But O'Leary did make it a point to call the Pomp irresponsible and crazy for investing so heavily in one asset. He even said, I teach this stuff. But isn't O'Leary the same guy who passed up Ring, the smart doorbell company bought by Amazon for $1 billion? Now, I know that's just one example. That's not my point. I'm not saying that he's not smart. I'm just saying he's not perfect. Nobody is. And anyone is capable of missing out on a good investment. Also, little fun fact. CNBC runs a stock draft competition where they pick assets and track their gains. Now, Kevin O'Leary has a negative return of 2%. And in the first place is Oz Perlman with a positive return of almost 45%. And guess who he drafted? Bitcoin. Yes, number one in that competition is Bitcoin. Like the Pomp said, it's math. The numbers don't lie, O'Leary.
That's great reporting there. Yonah Hochhauser, thank you for this edition of SMB. We were Block TV.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.